Set Green Season 3. I'm your host Pooja Arvi. In today's episode, we will dive into critical question in terms of understanding clean energy transition, what happens to battery lives after their life ends. Joining us is Anupam Kumar, founder of MiniMines, a clean tech company working in lithium-ion battery recycling and circular economy solutions. Welcome, Anupam. I am really curious because this electrical vehicle sector is quite dynamic and it is, seeing changes going through policy advancements every now and then. So, what is also interesting part here is because this is a new space, the waste, how do we tackle the waste which will come after the use? So, that is also one of the bigger issue. So, Anupam, if you can, briefly share your background in how and why did you come into this industry?
Thank you, Pooja, for having me here. And to begin with, I'll introduce myself. I'm Anupam Kumar. I'm co-founder and CEO at MiniMines, and I'm a chemical engineer. I did my engineering or graduation from BIT Meshra, and after graduating, I started working for a basically for BRC, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Bombay, where I was working on to something similar what we do right now in terms of recovery of heavy metals, cobalt, nickel, uranium, and all those things that I was working on, which gives me an added advantage what we do right now, which overall overlap of what I have done in my previous experience and what I'm doing now. Post my experience at BRC, I joined a startup called Log9 Materials, where I headed sustainable cleanup technologies, and that is where I met my co-founder Arvind Bharadwaj. He was heading the energy storage division at Log9, and one moment of time there was a huge R&D waste, cell manufacturing waste that was coming out of his unit. And back at that time, we used to give those waste to incinerators to dispose it off. And that is what is the trigger point, or the, I would say, it's the beginning of the chain reaction. And that is when I ran to Arvind and told him, "Ki boss, you know what goes into your battery, and I know how to recover it from." And that is where we both left our jobs with one mission, that we wanted to create a circular loop for all kind of green minerals and metals. Rather than being called as recyclers, we were miners, and we could mine from any kind of waste. That was the idea when we initiated or when we left our jobs. And till now, we have not only been recovering lithium, cobalt, nickel out of your batteries, but also recovering rare earth metals such as NdPr, Dy from your spent magnets as well. So we are already onto our mission, and that is where we are on our journey. And I believe when it was a perfect sync, as in you can see Arvind knows what goes into your battery, and I know how to recover it from, because my both our previous experience was in that sync, and that made us feel it was just part of puzzle putting together, creating a good picture.
This is actually, the typical destiny story where it's the one concept of finding the material in batteries got married into a concept of understanding the extraction and recovery. It sounds so fancy and cheesy to be honest, yeah. And moreover, when we hear about batteries also, there is one more point because what happens is most of the people use batteries in their everyday life, right? But they never think about their end of life, what actually happens to them today. So can you walk us through understand how a common man can see that what actually happens when he is throwing it away or discarding it in e-waste, let's say, sectors?
So, Pooja, as you stated rightly, that even if right now in this moment we are all surrounded by lithium ion batteries and those rare earth magnets, those earpods that we are using has magnets into it, and
Yeah.
it is being powered through lithium ion batteries. Not only the earphones, the laptop that we are having our world, the mobile phone that we are communicating the whole world through, your electric scooters, your electric cars, everything has lithium ion batteries. So that is one of the essential part of all our lives as of now, right? Once it any of those reaches end of their life, there's two protocols or two pathways that both the end of life travel. One is, if it is disposed in a right way, it reaches to the e-waste collectors. Then e-waste collectors or aggregators segregate e-waste component, battery component, magnetic component, separated. Now those uh, chips and all those things are handed over to e-waste recyclers. Batteries are handed over to people like of us, and magnets as well. We have started collecting magnets as well. So all these things we have been getting through e-waste players who are aggregating these players. And the another pathway is, if the people are disposing it off in a very unorganized way, so it lands up in landfills. So that is the two pathways of any end of life that is happening in India. But as of now, we are trying to collect batteries across the country. We are collecting batteries from north, from your Rajasthan to your from your Himachal, from your West Bengal, from your Madhya Pradesh till Kanyakumari, Vizag, uh, Maharashtra, Bombay. So we operate pan India, and we have our collection team. We are not big giants who are collecting across the country, but yes, we are doing best at whatever at scale that we are trying to do. We are roughly processing 150 to 200 metric tons of battery every month, and we are collecting across the India. And for being honest, if you observe, we are one of the first and the only R4 category recycler in complete southern India belt. There is no other recyclers exist who has capability to recycle lithium ion batteries and recover these critical metals such as lithium, cobalt, nickel in complete southern India belt. So we are the only ones, and we're not only recycling batteries from your earpods or phones, but we are recycling batteries from a wristwatch to your electric buses. Anything that comes in between, two-wheeler, four-wheeler, three-wheeler, anything that it comes in between is being recycled as of now by MiniMines.
That's great, and thanks for filling in the details of what happens in the, let's say, back end of collection and recycling. So, when you say as the collection part of it, does it happen? Do you have your own, let's say, supply chain vendors with whom you are connected, or do you get it like from post consumer waste? Let's say it is already been discarded. So, how this collection process works? Because I believe that is the biggest problem, right? Because once you have it right in place, you dealing with it is much easier.
Yes. So I'll give you exact roadmap of how it is happening in India as of now. And again, there's multiple bifurcation in the process of doing so. One of the best process or the ideal process that not only Europeans have adapted it, but Indians or Indian policy makers has also adopted it, which is called EPR, Extended Producers Responsibility.
Yeah.
So this is a policy, and which is a very strong policy created by Indian government, where all the OEMs, let's say Apple, let's say any two-wheeler OEM, four-wheeler OEM, TVS, Ola, or any bus OEMs, Mercedes, likes of all of them have this mandate that any kind of lithium-ion battery that is being consumed in your product, you have to, at the end of life of those products, they have to collect back to their own reverse supply chain. And
Yeah.
now they have to segregate all the components and hand it over to a responsible recycler for respective materials. So that is what
Yes.
is happening as of now. So our majority, or I would say 60 to 70% of the feed that we're getting is directly from the OEMs, right? So I'll give you a very raw example. Let's say your phone has a weaker battery and you want to replace it, right? So what happens is you'll either go to though two case scenarios from here, right? You'll either go to an official service center, or go to a repair shop. When you go to a official service center, you'll get a new battery, and you'll get a discount over a new battery by giving off the dead or waste or old batteries. So those waste value that is being given to you is given through us, because those people collect all those batteries, and we give them those salvage value. So there's some value in end of life of any battery or magnets or motors or anything, right? So we collect back those batteries, and we give them some amount against what kind of battery it is, and that is being giving a financial motive to give
For
back
them
your.
to
Yes.
collect. Yeah.
Yes, for them to collect, as well as for consumers to discard the batteries at the right place, where you'll get a some kind of monetary or financial
Monetary
benefit,
incentive. Yeah.
incentive, while giving buying a new battery. So that is how we are adding value in the complete reverse supply chain. The rest, 30 to 40% of our collection varies from these unorganized players. As I mentioned, they change the batteries, they discard the batteries. We collect. There are few hubs in the country where your mobile repair happens, even in Bangalore, even in Vizag, even in uh, uh, Maharashtra. So we go there, we collect it, we send it back to our place, we recycle it. So that we are handling it both the ends, through policy as well, and which are or untouched or unleft, we are collecting batteries from those sources as well, directly from, not directly from consumer, but yes, it is much more direct from the consumers via some vendor in between, because those are players who are basically repairing the mobile phones, or rectifying your EVs, or doing maintenance of your car or scooter. So that is where we are collecting batteries. So we're trying to address as much as possible. And coming down the line, we want to create a reverse supply chain, but direct to the customer. They can just send us or write an email, and we, like how Swiggy operates, right?
Yeah.
They'll come to you, and they deliver it. We'll do the same thing. We'll come pick it up and give you some salvage value against the complete system.
Oh, that sounds interesting because I would like to explore more on this because the audience or the people to whom I connect to here are mostly enthusiastic as about being more eco-conscious, eco-friendly, and also very let's say the educated crowd who are trying to change towards sustainable living. So if you can let them understand, let's say the person who is listening to, if they want to share your contacts with someone who wants or has a repository of the old batteries in any size and scale, what is the procedure they have to follow?
So on our website, we have couple of links where people can come. Just it's a drop down menu. You can just push your details, contact number, email ID, and what kind of battery or what kind of things that you have. Just click it, we'll evaluate it, we'll come back to you, and we obviously give the pickup options if there's some quantum available, or even for smaller quantum also. As of now, we are starting as of now. In
When
that
you
case,
say
we'll definitely.
smaller quantum, can you give us an example so it's easy for them to relate?
So uh, so if we talk about in terms of quantity of batteries that you have, quantity of dead equipment that you have, let's say 10, 15 batteries, so we'll
Hmm.
come pick it up immediately, right? Or if you have one or two batteries, so we wait for at least 15 other people in similar zone to trigger that notification. And once that it reaches, crosses some threshold level, our team goes, collect all of them, bring it back, and give the salvage value to all of them, depending on what kind of batteries they are disposing of.
This is interesting, and maybe I will share the description about the links where you can actually go and drop it in the episode description. Please check it out if anyone is interested in exploring this space. So, Anupam, economic and scalability is another factor in this industry, right? Because we understand recycling is available, but is it truly viable, scalable, let's say, option in India? And if it is, are there any, let's say, policy or incentive which is dependent on this?
So yes, their policies and support by government of India, as I would like to mention few things, right? Firstly, I would like you to address, or like to like our audience to know that recycling is recycling of lithium batteries are little sophisticated system. It has not happened in the complete world as of now in a very streamlined way. Even companies in Europe, companies in US are filing for bankruptcy, who are doing recycling. So that there are some fundamental issues that exist, because this is happening in the world for the first time, because from one source you have to extract five different metals: lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese, iron, copper, aluminum, and graphite from the one source, which is which makes the system very sophisticated and very complex. So
Yeah.
it took us 3.5 4 years to develop our own patented process, which we
Mm-hmm.
call it hybrid hydrometallurgy process. It's a combination of three different technological stack. First is extraction, second is selective separation, third is beneficiation. The complete process is unique in itself. It is patented in India and across the globe in few other countries as well. So my whole point is recycling can be made efficient only by evolving the process. Because I'll say there's been mining of cobalt happening for last a lot of decades, right? uh, Mining of nickel is happening, mining of lithium is happening, but it has the scenario or the case. If you observe, they have to extract one metal from one field, right? So it is a little simpler operation that it can happen. But here you have one source and you have to extract 5 to 7 different metals, which is again a sophisticated system. So you need a very cost efficient process, and you have to have indigenous process. That is second. If you ask me why, because the why to this answer is you have to have your own patented process or your own process, because most of the players have been copying pasting it from the other processes or from other uh, countries such as China, who is ahead in this recycling field. They're copy pasting it. The issue in that particular thing is there's a lot of evolution that is happening in lithium and batteries. If you
Yeah.
might have heard, there's multiple chemistries, multiple form
Yes,
factors:
yes.
NMC, LCO, LFP. You can see there's cylindrical cells, prismatic cell, pouch cells. So there are multiple evolution that is happening in lithium and battery. And lithium and battery is said to be one of the most fastest evolving technologies in the across the globe, right? So if you don't have your own patented process, if you don't have your own process, you cannot tune it for the different feeds that is coming, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
copy paste it, the any single process, it can process only
Mm.
single type of feed. But in India you will never get a single consistent
Single
type
type
of
of
feed.
aid, yeah.
Yes, you'll get it from mobile phones, some you'll get it from electric scooters, some you'll get from electric
Laptops,
cars,
E&D,
laptops.
yeah.
Exactly. So you have to have your own process, and that process should be perfectly tunable for depending upon any kind of feed you can feed, and that can only
Mm-hmm.
happen when you have your own process. As soon as this process is fixed for one particular kind of batteries, you cannot process other batteries, which hits your unit economics, which makes it unsustainable, and which makes it economically not feasible to recycle. So that is where we come into the picture as MiniMines. Our own process have capability to process all kind of chemistry and form factor, and we have the capability to recycle any kind of lithium-ion battery, irrespective from your wristwatch to your electric buses. Anything that comes in between can be recycled through our process.
Thank you so much for explaining this lucidly, and maybe because, excuse my naivety, I was wondering, since it is applicable for across regions, right? As you rightly mentioned, from wristwatches to, let's say, the bigger, heavy motor vehicle batteries. So, what is the key factor which is different in HMM, or which is not the similar case in other recycling technologies? For someone who doesn't know anything about this recycling technology, how can they understand and make sense of it? That how is this viable?
I'll give you an overview of the process, how the battery is being designed.
Yeah, sure, that would be great. Yes.
So, in any lithium-ion battery, there's two processes involved. That is pre-processing and post-processing.
Okay.
Pre-processing is exactly what we do, physical processing, basically segregating, dismantling those plastic casings and all, crushing it, extracting the black mass, or what we call it, intermediate, which is rich in lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese, and all those elements. So, so this black mass is something, a black powder, which comes
Mhm.
out of your battery, which is an intermediate. So in India, if you observe, most of the companies, matlab, 85 to 90% of companies who call themselves recyclers, are crushing the battery, extracting those black mass, which is an intermediate, and selling those black mass to different players across the globe and to us as well. So what happens is, in this particular process, black mass crushing is not a profitable business, for being honest, because there is not a much value addition in that process. You just
Okay.
collect the battery and crush it, and you extract the black mass, which is an intermediate, which cannot be utilized by any end use customers. It can be only used by people like us who has the technology for elemental extraction, which is post
Okay.
processing. If you do the combination of pre-processing and post-processing, the uh, through our own process, hybrid hydrometallurgy process, it is economically very viable, and the combination of pre-processing and post-processing, what we do. The post-processing is, I forgot to mention about post-processing. Post-processing, when you take black mass, those black mass that is coming out of your batteries are being fed into our reactors. All those are chemical reactors because it's an hydrometallurgy process. It
Yeah.
requires water as a solvent to extract all these metals. So our the uniqueness of our process, it can recycle all kind of batteries, or all kind of chemistries. Secondly, it can utilize only aqueous media extraction, where it does not require very expensive chemicals to extract these metals. So there are
Okay.
multiple processes. So our process does not involve a lot of expensive chemicals. It requires only aqueous. So aqueous media reactions are roughly inorganic chemistry, which is way more cheaper than the organic chemistry routes. So that is why one of our uniqueness is we don't consume a lot of expensive chemicals to recover these minerals. After that, there's an benefication where you washing and crystallizing of those metal salts have been done, because when you extract cobalt as a salt, cobalt sulfate, lithium is lithium carbonate, because lithium is similar to sodium, right? It is very unstable. It even
Yeah.
catches fire
Yes.
in air. So
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to extract in form of their stable salt, which is lithium carbonate, and that is how those product is being utilized, right? In any battery manufacturing, you don't use cobalt metal, pure metal. You extract cobalt sulfate, you
Yeah.
use lithium carbonate, you use nickel sulfate. So that is how the extraction has been designed by us. So we extract all these metal compound in their stable salt form, and these metal is not only being consumed as of now only in batteries, but also in your catalyst manufacturing, in your paint and dye, whatever uh, inks or dyes or paints that you see around you. It is being used to cobalt salts and nickel salts is being used as a dyeing agents, which gives color to your paints and dyes. So not only that, these salts are being used in your nickel plating, nickel coating. Also, it is being used in your high temperature grease manufacturing. The glass, what we see, the glass is also being manufactured. The lithium carbonate is one of the ingredients that is being used in your bison domain in glass manufacturing. So these are places that is being these minerals are being utilized heavily.
Yeah, and this was heavy technical data to understand and assimilate. And if anyone has any question, they can feel free. Please check out their website, Minimines, to understand, let's say, the hydrometallurgical part of it. Or if you are more curious, please check out their website to understand more. And I think Anupam would be more than happy to even help understand if there are any questions or doubts further on that. And coming back to this, Anupam, I do understand this. You are using the aqueous media for the reaction, right? So, let's say typically, what is the efficiency rate of this particular extraction process for you?
Thank you, Pooja. This is a very right question, which I mentioned, which I forgot to mention earlier. So our process has the recovery efficiency of roughly 96%. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that is present in your battery, 96% of them are safely recovered, extracted, and recirculated in a circular loop for multiple end-use industries.
Oh,
And
that's
the
great.
and the purity of those recovered minerals are more than 99% pure.
That's great because now that brings me to my next question. We have this recycling. If we compare that to the traditional mining in terms of efficiency and as well as environmental impact, so how does that play out?
So I'll give you a very raw upfront data that we have, and you can also get it. You
Okay.
require roughly 8 tons, sorry, 1.8 tons of ores to extract 1.5 kgs of lithium carbonate. We
Okay.
we when we process 1 ton of a battery, we extract roughly 10 kgs of uh, lithium carbonate of 1.8 tons of ore batteries. So this is the difference of the scale that we do in terms of recovery, right? Like if you consume the same amount of ore and batteries, you
Yeah.
recover only
1 is to
1.2
1 ratio
1
for
is to 2
the.
kg 1 is to 2
Yeah.
1.2 kgs of lithium carbonate. But
So
when you
1 is to 2.
yes, from 1 ton you're
Yeah.
extracting 1.2 kgs, right?
Okay.
And in 1 ton of battery you're extracting 10 kgs of, so that
Which
is the
is
difference.
almost 5 times higher, right? Like if I
Yes,
just take it as one, it is 5 times
yes.
more. And environmental impact, of course, it is much better and efficient solution if we have to understand. And I have one more question attached to this, because these are all rare earth material, right? The quantity of mining is also limited. You won't get surplus amount as it is when compared to, let's say, like other raw metals like iron, steel. Those are all quite abundant in terms of availability when compared to this nickel, cobalt, all these rare earth materials. How do you see this in the next 10 years, Anupam? So the let's say if we have to understand how this mining sector or the recycling sector will go, what is your take on this?
uh, See, Pooja, for being honest,
Yeah,
uh, mining is a necessary evil.
it is.
Matlab,
Yes, it is. Yes.
you have to mine, then only we can recycle it, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise we
absolutely,
cannot.
I agree on that. Yeah.
And demand is always exponential, right? So recycling can always be a which will only control the bottom line, which is reduce the pressure on the mining or reduce the carbon footprint in the complete product. So
Hmm.
I wanted to mention the product that we recycle. Such a from ores people recycle cobalt sulfate, or from ores people recycle lithium carbonate. But when we recover the same material from your spent batteries or these are all recycled minerals, right? So there is one particular difference between the freshly mined minerals and the recycled minerals, which is exactly being which is exactly like the amount of carbon footprint that is used to generate
PCF of
those things,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So yes. So exactly, when our material is being consumed, it has 1/10 carbon footprint than the freshly mined mineral. In terms of carbon footprint, we talk about energy, manpower, all those resources that
Whole
get
life
used.
cycle emissions
Yes,
from. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So and the impact is 1/10. So that is what the impact is.
Yeah, and it is also necessary, right?
Yes.
Because we do have certain requirements, and given the scale of development and population which is happening currently across the globe, it is all the more difficult position to be in terms of understanding the requirement from mining and how best can we scale the recycling. And for if, as Anupam mentioned, PCF is nothing but product carbon footprint, which is the summation of all the emissions of that particular product. It can be cradle to gate or it can be cradle to grave, wherein you take out the emissions from, let's say, extraction, production, use phase, and then end of life. Together, you get the total carbon footprint number, and that's what he meant when he said as PCF is one tenth for the recycling. And moving on, Anupam, we see this rising of electric vehicle adoption in India. So how do we see this as upcoming wave for battery waste? How do we deal with this?
So, see, our government has been supporting through. So, we are one of the startups who are coming out of your Oil India support. So, we have been supported by Oil India Limited. United Nation Industrial Development Organization has funded us, validated our process, uh, all those things. The carbon emission, they awarded us lowest carbon emitting technology till date across the globe for recycling of lithium and batteries. They have audited the process end to end, and that has made our confidence very strong. Not only that, we have been supported by likes of Mercedes Benz, your I am Bangalore. All of these, we are doing pilots with a lot of other people, big OEMs, giant OEMs, and we're creating a customized solution for their batteries, their battery packs. So that is where, as an industry, all the industries are preparing for it. And not only industries, the very best part is our government of India, through central government. They have created a PLI scheme, production linked incentive scheme, for recycling of lithium and batteries, that are supporting us to make our process more viable and to scale our operation at a higher scale, which which will obviously address the upcoming chunks or big
Surge
chunks of
of
batteries.
like
Yes,
battery waste, yeah.
yes. So,
And Anupam,
so
what is
government of
the,
India,
yeah,
so government
please, yeah.
government of India is helping us scale the complete of our operations, and that is very best as of now, and very supportive by government of India. We are very proud to be part of this ecosystem, and we are very grateful for government of India in this.
Yeah, this is the current and right moment, right? Because India is we have right now lots and lots of policies, and we have understandings of different, let's say, environmental acts or impacts in terms of understanding the like permit to operate, let's say from CPCB or SPCB, which is quite necessary as well. So the government is also playing a very key role in bringing out new solutions, which is more useful, and also the whole ecosystem for startups is evolutionized, I would say, not just change exponentially in over the last 10 to 15 years. And Anupam, also, what is the let's say the vision plan for 5 to 10 years, in the next 10 years for mini mines, and what is the aspiration that you are aiming to achieve with this?
So, Pooja, on the call, I have already mentioned that we have been scaling our battery recycling. We have started a pilot line for recovery of rare earth metals such as NdPr, derived from your spent magnets. And our so at Minimine's R&D never stops. That is one of the unique part, and we have been integrally doing R&D over recovery of platinum group metals, from your BS4 catalyst that is being there in your exhaust vehicle, solar panel recovery from all those metals from your solar panels. So these are places where we are doing R&D intensively, and we're spending a lot of energy there, where which is streamlining the complete process. And that is where we are placing ourselves. We are the players who basically recycles or recovers or mine metals from your any kind of waste. So we are miners,
West.
we are mini mines,
Yeah.
we are mining from all kind of waste. We are miners mining.
Yeah, and so yeah, that brings us to almost at the end of the interview. And thanks for being, patient enough in helping us understand the technology, starting from how you collect and where this is all going. So at the end, we have a small slot for rapid fire where I will ask few 3 to 4 questions. You have to just give me a one-word answers. So are we cool with that? Yes, okay. Okay, Anupam. So now my first question will be waste or resource.
Waste.
Okay. And one material we should never waste again.
Energy.
Thank you so much for doing this, and I hope we helped people understand better about battery recycling. That's it for today's episode of Get Set Green. I'm your host, Pooja Arve. Thank you for tuning in to the conversations that matter. If this story inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, subscribe, and join our community of change makers. Together, let's keep purpose meeting planet one week and one story at a time. Until next time, stay curious, stay foolish, and let's get set to get green.